Well, as we enter this new year, our state has been presented with unprecedented opportunities and challenges. New technology is ushering in a time of turbulence, with some businesses going up and others heading down. Earlier, I spoke with futurist Ed Barlow about where he believes our economy is headed. So, Ed, what does the future hold for us here in Oklahoma?
Well, let me put it in the context of a journey. We're all on a journey, whether we're an individual, an organization, or a community. And the journey that we are going to take is going to be different from the journey that we have known. And the journey is going to be characterized by its complexity, its diversity, and its pace. Maybe an example is, we hear the stories about Dallas Airport of airplanes that are flying in normal day, and all of a sudden they get hit by a wind shear, and it affects that journey, that pathway to landing. Well, that's kind of what's going on. We're in a time of incredible structural change in the world as we know it. An example of that is we're living in a 24/7 world now. Information, work, entertainment, and education is now interconnected in a 24/7 world environment by technology. And that is driving what I consider to be 8 areas of structural change. And let me highlight a few of them. First, globalization. It is huge. We've got 3 billion new capitalists on the planet in the last 20 years. Every one of them is a potential market, but every one of them is a potential competitor, particularly because many of these new capitalists are willing to work longer and harder for less money than we are. Another area of structural change is new science and technology. And to make it simple, we're going to be able to monitor and manipulate everything. We're talking about an economy that's going to be based on molecular science. We're talking about information storage on a molecule. In Japan, they're already storing information on your fingernail. We're talking about new ways of growing food, hydroponically grown food. I ate a head of lettuce the other day that was grown in 21 days in a hydroponics facility. We're talking about not making a car in the future, but growing it, because we know how to manipulate molecules into different shapes. We're talking about healthcare intervention at the molecular level. They've already identified a nanobacteria that causes hardening of the arteries, and they're working on a genetically engineered nanoprotein that can be introduced into the system that will eliminate that type of condition. I think the third area is the area of demographics. In the United States and in Oklahoma, we're becoming older and more ethnically diverse. And that has implications for workforce. It has implications for product and service development. However, the rest of the world, particularly Asia, they're getting younger, at least till 2050. Then they start getting older as well. So they've got this large pool of young people. We're getting older. And so there's the demographic dynamic that's occurring as well.
Now, I've heard it said, it's better to take change by the hand before it takes you by the throat. And we know it's coming. What can we do individually to prepare?
Well, first of all, I believe change is everybody's business. Nobody's exempt. That 90-year-old widow in Oklahoma, rural Oklahoma, on fixed income is going to have her social safety net affected, Medicare, Medicaid, by the globalization and the changes taking place in society. So she's going to be impacted. We already know that our environment's being impacted by the residual of China using a lot of fossil fuels, because we're getting the clouds now coming over into California. Okay? So first of all, nobody is exempt. So, to answer your question, everybody has to understand and accept the fact they're going to be affected by this. So if you're going to be affected, then it seems to me it behooves you to learn more about what you don't know that's happening in the world that's going to affect you. So that means a lot of Oklahomans now have got to go beyond the most up-to-date information they get daily is the conversation they have over a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock at the local restaurant with their colleagues who don't read a newspaper, that the gossip may not be the source of accurate information on what's going to happen. They need to build capacities to read differently, broaden what they take in terms of information, and have serious conversations with themselves and their friends and their communities about how you need to realign yourself to be as prosperous in the future as you've been in the past in the light of the changes that are occurring.
All right, Ed. Thank you very much for your insights.
You're welcome.